get going. We've got plenty of people in at the moment. Thank you everybody for coming along.
I literally just got here.
Oh dear.
Goodness gracious.
Oh
So we've last week, I don't know if you remembered what we did. We've been working on doing some doors for the room. These ones are baked. I need to unbake them, but we had given them hinge joints, unity hinge joints. It's not going to work until I unmark that as static. And for some reason, why isn't it not working now? Is it probably because it's baked, I wonder? But we did give everything hinge joints.
You're okay.
I'm going to, let's try another one. Is that one going to open? Nah. I need to just unbake all of them. But yeah, we got them working. And what I was going to do was at some point today upload what we'd done and just test the doors out. Actually go and visit the world once we've got it exported and uploaded and everything. But we've got a bit of work to do first. So there was a couple of things I really wanted to do. One of them was to can't remember. My brain's gone blank. What was I going to do? I mentioned it last week.
Table? I don't know.
No.
I wasn't there last week.
No, I know. I can't remember. It'll come to me in a minute. I was literally about to say it and it's completely gone off the tip of my tongue. But another thing I wanted to do this week, which I thought would be cool, which is why I've put this thing up here, is I thought we could just touch on cloth physics a little bit and maybe make a pair of curtains that we can use in here. Not necessarily curtains that we can open and close. I think that's probably a little bit too advanced at the minute. But we can add to that later on. I just wanted to actually make a simple pair of curtains just to actually hang there and just be a static object at the window with baked lighting and stuff. I thought would be quite cool. So that's one thing I wanted to do. I don't know if you've noticed, we have actually got glass and there are reflections working. You might not be able to see them, but I can see the door frame there reflected from over here.
Oh, I can.
So we've got glass. And that is just using, Pony was very kind and sent me the shader because I couldn't find it on Discord, the right one. But it's one that Aline has posted. And it's just
I never even realised it had reflections in it.
Well, it does if you bake them. Yeah, I've baked the reflections. Yeah, so I've literally got the glass marked here, reflection probe static, and then I've done the occluder and occludee, so it's included in the culling that would bake. So yeah, as long as you tick that and then bake your reflection probes, you'll get reflections in your glass. Anything that's glossy, you'll get reflections. So yeah, that's it basically. I'm going to rebake this and give these doors another test and make sure I haven't broken them. Thank you for that. Oh, maybe that was somebody else.
No, there's two squeakers.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right, okay.
We like children, but just with salt and pepper.
What? What?
You like You way too young for this, I think. Guessed. Yeah, I just.
There we go. So they aren't baked now. Let's just give this another try. Ooh, look at that. It's
It really has a good echo.
that's not working
Yeah,
right.
it
Where's
does.
me hinge gone? I appear to have lost me
revolving door.
hinge, which is nice. I don't know what's happened there. How on earth did I lose me hinge? I wonder if it's because I baked it. That is really weird. So let me see. The
Test
axis
another one.
has to be, yeah, I could do. Axis has to be there, and then I can't even see. Oh, there it is. There's my little arrow. So I need that to be moved across to about there. Move it down a bit. Let's just zoom in. Whoa. Probably have to do this manually. So like maybe 0.35.
Sorry, you're like way too young for this. You can't do it here.
0.34.
You need to do something else. I'm very sorry.
Oh, bless him.
Now Port's feeling really bad.
0.345. What's that like? Is that on the edge? That looks like it's pretty much on the edge. Right, let's give that a try. Now it's working properly. So we need to turn on spring. We'll give them 0.5 to start with. And that should make the door spring closed. The dampen, if I left that as 0, it wouldn't have any dampen, and the door, you'll see, just swings backwards and forwards. So we need to add a bit of dampen to make it not swing too much. Let's try making that 1-on-1, see what that's like. Yeah, that'll probably do. And then we want to use limits because we don't want the door to just like open infinitely. So we're going to give it a limit of -90 to 90. That's degrees, and that'll stop it from opening too far. And so there we go. We've got a working door anyway. So we'll probably, because I'm in play mode, I need to copy the component because you'll see as soon as I turn that off, it disappears. So we need to add another hinge joint and then just paste the component values from before. And that should make everything fine. Let's do the same for this one. See, that one's marked as static as well.
What the heck?
Paste component values. Bless them.
We're very popular today.
Yeah.
Nah, I kick them first, hoping that they won't come back, but I do anyways. I always do.
If they come back,
Yeah.
just shift them to the other instance.
Hmm.
I love the sound when they fry.
I did too.
Dear me.
No, I'm talking about mosquitoes. I'm talking about
Oh,
mosquitoes.
yeah.
Yeah, of course you are, yeah.
Yes, you are. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've got our doors just about fixed again. So we'll try those out in a bit. But what I want to do is, here I'm going to do the make a couple of curtains to hang at the window here. So we're back to Blender. I've just stuck it's just a cube that I've kind of squashed and elongated. Nothing fancy. So in order to make a curtain, what I find the easiest way is to start off with a plane. Now, to use cloth physics, you need geometry. You need enough geometry to actually fold and, you know, do whatever cloth needs to do to it. You can decimate it afterwards. So that's what we're going to do, I think. So all I'm going to do, a lot of this is going to be trial and error because it never seems to work the same each time you use it. So we'll just give this a try. I've just snapped it to the, let's just hide the ceiling here. Snapped it to the rail. We'll rotate it on the X by 90. That's probably gone the wrong way actually. Rotate it on the X by minus 90. The reason I say it's going to have gone the wrong way is because we want the face, the normal face, in the correct way. So it needs to be blue. Otherwise you'll have an invisible curtain. You'll only see it from the outside. So we'll just move it forwards a little bit so it's in front of this. Okay. And then move it down. Let's have a think. How high do I want my curtain to go? It does need a bit just above the rail probably. And let's say I want it to come to the floor. So I'm going to move it down a bit to literally just above the floor. And then I'm going to subdivide it a few times. So I don't know if I've shown you this, but I'm sure you're aware Control and R gives you a loop cut. Before you click and apply that loop cut, you can actually tell it how many loop cuts you want. You can use your mouse wheel and scroll up and down, or you can actually type in a number. So I'm going to type in 30, maybe. That might not be enough, but we'll give it a try. And then you can right click and it just sets it in the center. And I'll do another one. We don't need as many for up and down. As long as it folds. Don't need as many for across, shall we say, the horizontal loop cut. So we'll say 10 for them. As long as you've got enough going up and down, so it'll actually, the curtain will fold, then we're good. So we've got that done. The next thing we need to do is add a cloth modifier, or we can just go into the physics tab here and click cloth, and that will automatically add a cloth modifier under the modifier tab. And then normally, so that it folds properly, I like to use silk, so we'll give that a go. I'm also going to add, I think I'm going to add a subdivision, but only with one subdivision, so we've got more folds again, because you need plenty for this to work. And then what we need to do is we need to come down here and tell it the shape. Are we going to use a pin group? Yes, we are. We'll select that row at the top and hit Control and G to assign that to a new group. So if you go in here, you can see up here we've now got a new vertex group. And if we deselect everything, select that group and hit select, you can see It's just that top line that's in the group. So under physics, under shape, we need to tell it to pin that group. Now I'm not going to do it. I want to show you what happens if we don't do this first of all. Soon as we press play on the animation thing, the timeline at the bottom, it falls because gravity is a thing. It works. So we need to pin the top to stop the curtain falling. So we'll do pin group. And then if we play, it doesn't fall. I don't really like the way that is doing that kind of pinching thing before I've even done anything with the curtain though. So for now, I'm going to remove the subdivision.
What are you doing? What's Bo doing?
You know you have to be 13 to come into Banter?
Need to be 13. You are not 13. So you need to go. You can probably go to like, what is that? Rec room or something like that. That is more for kids.
Right, where was I? Oh yes, that's what I was doing. So what we can do, there's a few things we can do here, but what I like to do is to, there's lots of ways you can do this, you know. I'm trying to think a nice, easy and cool way of doing it. We'll add a cube and I'll just snap it to active so it's there dead in the centre. And we're going to scale it down on everything but the, no, that's not right, everything but the X. And we'll move it up. And then this, we can add a constraint if I remember how to do it. I think it's copy scale. And we copy the scale from that. No, that's not it, is it? It's got to be just along the X that we're copying the scale. So now, if I scale that down, the curtain scales down as well. So what I want to do is set for the cube, I want to tell it that on this face here, I want the origin to be there so that when I scale it down, the cube moves over to the right. And I want to do the same with the curtain. So we'll choose that and we'll set the origin to that vertex. So now when I scale the cube, that happens. So that's kind of what I want. So I guess now, if I just give this plenty of frames so we've got enough to play with, and press play, actually what I'm going to do is shade smooth on the curtain and then press play and start scaling down the cube. I haven't got enough subdivisions, but we've kind of got, if I hide, it would help if I wasn't still in orientation the full time. Just hide all of this for now and we'll hide the window so we can see the curtain. We've kind of got a bit of a curtain going. But like I say, I think what I would like to do, let's just, oh man, there we go. Now we'll hide all of that. I think what I'd like to do though is still subdivide this a bit more. So subdivide and try again. Select that, press play, start to scale it down slowly. It's starting to clip in on itself, and I think the reason is because I've forgotten to do something. And what I've forgotten to do is under collisions, click self collisions. So hopefully we're not going to get that happening anymore. Let's try playing again. Scale it down, give it a bit of an open and a close, pull it back.
Yeah, that looks really good.
And then just let it settle a bit. And when you're happy enough, you can stop. And then all we do, select the curtain and apply the cloth modifier. And that's one curtain done. But we've got quite a bit of geometry there. We can cut that down quite a bit just by decimating it a few times. We could just add a decimate modifier, maybe try unsubdivide, maybe something like that. Or we could try collapse, try turning that down a bit. That's not bad. That's not bad. And we've got 229 faces, which is okay for something like
Really
this.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just literally
I love
apply
listening
that.
to you like explain things and stuff. It's awesome. Sounds like Bob Ross painting.
Oh, cool. I'm pleased to hear it. Actually, all I'm going to do here, we'll, under constraints, we'll also apply the constraint, and then we can just delete that. What I should have done is probably just duplicated this. It would have saved an awful lot of time. So I'll just bring that up here. Select that face. We'll add another plane. Now the reason I'm doing this twice rather than just duplicating this or mirroring it over is just for randomness, so that both curtains don't look identical. It's a little bit more work, but it's so much fun. I love cloth physics. So rotate -90 on the X. Move it down a bit to about the same. I'm just going to eyeball it for the other curtain. Okay. Bring the bottom down a bit to about just above the floor. Set that one so its origin is on that vertex. Now then, can't remember how many subdivisions I gave it now. Was it 20, 30? 30 across the top maybe?
Yeah.
And about
30
10.
and 10.
Yeah.
And then you
What's the
subdivide
purpose
it
of
again.
having the
And
ones
then
on
I
the X-axis?
subdivided again. Yeah, I did. That's right. So we'll just do that now. Select that edge. Add it to a new group. Add cloth. Set it to silk. Shape. Use the group. Turn on self collisions. Add a scale constraint on only the X to this thing here. Where's my curtain gone? Has anyone seen a curtain? Oh no.
Old age. Get everything back.
Okay,
There it is.
let's try again. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to move that forward a bit as well. So it's roughly, can't even see it, roughly where the other curtain is. Because I'm going to move them both anyway, but I want them to be roughly the same place. Right, shall we try that again? Has it got its cloth? No, it hasn't. Ah, that's why. We're not at the beginning of the timeline. Goodness gracious. Okay. Silk. Pin group. We haven't got a pin group yet. Pin group. And self collisions. Hi. Okay, now. Constraint. Scale. Only on the X. And scale to the real thing there. So, fingers crossed, this works.
Wow.
Ooh, kind of blocky, but I like it.
It is. All I'm going to do is shade it smooth, not that one, the actual curtain, and then do it again. So play, scale.
Yeah, that's nice.
It helps sometimes to give it a little bit of a shake like that to get the folds to work nicely. And when you're happy enough with it, I guess just let it settle
That
and
one
then
is
stop
smaller
the
than other
animation.
one.
It's what?
Smaller than the other one.
Is it?
It should be.
They need to be even.
Ah, it doesn't matter. It makes it look...
It's got to be natural.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
My curtains.
Imperfection is perfection. Just make it look used and lived in and realistic. So
Scrapple.
I'm going to apply that cloth modifier. I'm going to apply the constraint, so then I can delete that. And I'm going to, what else am I going to do? I want to decimate it. I'll just scroll that down a little bit. We got down to about 200 and something faces with the last one. Do you think I can do the same here? 290 there? That doesn't look bad for a VR curtain. Yeah, we'll apply that. And the only thing really left to do, and this is a nice little trick, is with something like this that's very, very folded. Let's just hide this lamp because that's annoying me as well. Something like this that's really folded, solidify is not going to work because it's going to cause clipping. As soon as it starts to thicken that fabric, it's going to start clipping. And because we have the normals, it's a single-sided plane with normals, only one normal facing this way, and these normals aren't facing, well, there aren't any, so it's invisible on this side. What you can do to make it work is go into face mode and select all your faces, Shift and D to duplicate them, and hit escape to get out of there, and then press Shift and N and tell it you want your faces going the other way. Actually, it looks like they've already done them there, but
Lisa, would solidify work? Or is that too complicated?
no, that's what I was just saying. Solidify will not work. Because as soon as it gives thickness to the fabric, it starts to clip.
Yeah.
Because bits of fabric are actually touching each other where they're folded. So what we're doing is we're just duplicating the faces, flipping the normals, and then leaving them exactly where they are. So essentially, the fabric still has no thickness, but we've given it two sets of normals. So you'll see it from both sides. And we're going to do the same with the other one as well. Now, the reason I didn't do anything with this, I'll show you what happens if the same thing happens with this one. Select all the faces, Shift and D to duplicate them, Shift and N. Now it has flipped them, but if it doesn't flip them and they're facing the same way as the original ones, just tick this little box where it says inside. And you'll see that facing the same way there. I'm going to untick it because this is what we want. We want some facing this way and some facing this way. So we've actually got double-sided curtains without adding any thickness to it. So it's very useful for things like this where you've got faces touching each other. So yeah, there is some curtains. If I bring all of that back and see what it looks like, we need to move them. So we're just going to move them on the Y till they're just not clipping through the wall and stuff like that, and look like they should be in the right place ish. That's good enough. Now normally, if you're sensible like me, you would make a proper curtain rail that is attached to brackets and standing out from the wall, but I'm not going to do that, at least not today, because that's just too much work. But at least we've got curtains, and that's a really nice handy thing to do. Now these curtains I wouldn't mind copying. I could put these at other windows, no problem. I could even flip them round because the faces, it's got normals on both sides, so you can add a bit of randomness and reuse stuff without having to make brand new meshes each time, and that's a good optimization technique. So for these, I'm just going to name them. We'll call this one, nice easy, curtain 1, and this one curtain 2.
Name them and let's see it.
Yeah, curtain 1 and curtain 2. I just pressed F2 and I've got a box here on the screen. Yeah.
The screen is stuck. I don't know.
Oh.
No, just go ahead. It's fine.
Okay.
I can still see it.
Okie dokie. Actually, you know what? Let's close that. So, we'll select the floor
You're
there.
in an event where people learn to make worlds. You're more than happy to stay, since I think you like old enough. So if you want to learn to make worlds with Blender and Unity, you're definitely more than welcome to stay here.
This is literally the first time I put it up.
I'm going to have a look for... let's have a look for a fabric that we can use. A nice simple one. I'm not going to... Let's look for curtains, see if that comes up with anything. There's a few interesting looking fabrics. Not sure I really like anything. Fabric textures. That's a carpet. That's a carpet. Oh, that one looks alright. That looks quite interesting. We'll just use that. Cut that. And I'll just stick it in textures. Paste it. Unzip. Now go into textures, and there is our fabric we've just found. I'll just get rid of the bits I don't want. So, in fact, most of it I'm not going to use, to be honest. I think I'm just going to use the colour. I'm not even going to use a normal or anything. And roughness, well, it's all going to be diffuse. So we'll just use that. So a nice easy thing to do, if that's the case, we might as well just use mobile, unlit but supports light map. That'll probably work just fine. And we'll drag that onto there and start to increase the tiling a bit. So maybe 10 by 10. Now it's a bit wonky because, excuse me, I went and decimated it rather than, I used the collapse decimation rather than the unsubdivide decimation. That wasn't the greatest choice, so I'll probably remake these curtains and unsubdivide them, because it does mean that, excuse me, these textures don't always fit perfectly. We can, of course, excuse me, we need to unwrap them properly anyway. But all I'm going to do for this, because I know there's not going to be anything wrong with the UV here. It's all based on a plane that's just been subdivided. So I'm just duplicating the channel in order to create the light map channel. And I'll do the same with the other one. Okay. I'm still not particularly happy with this this fabric though. It looks really, really bad. But never mind. We're going to leave it for now. It might look better once it's baked. So we'll give it a try. Like I say, I'll probably remake these and just unsubdivide them next time. If you're using plain colours, then you're fine with collapse. It's not going to affect it. But when you've got a texture, it won't fit properly unless you have good topology. And collapse does make a mess of your topology, I have to be honest. I had all of this set up, you know, ready to go like half an hour before the event started, and I thought, yeah, I'm being so organised. And then I put my hand on top of the PC to lean over and pick something up and accidentally press the reset button. So I was still getting set up like 2 minutes before the event. So that was nice. Now that has made an absolute pig's ear of the lighting on here, hasn't it? That is absolutely awful. So I'm wondering why it's red. It's like it's picked up the colour from the walls, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, like a reflection, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
light does do that.
really bizarre.
This might.
Yeah. Wow, I've not seen that before. What's it like from the outside?
Grey.
Let's hide the window. Yeah. Ooh. That is weird. Okay, let's try something else with this. We'll just delete that and we'll unwrap it that way. See what that's like. That looks a bit weird as well, but there you go. Lisa, you plonker. There we go. It's me interesting. Incidentally, has anyone tried any of the bakery's standard shaders? Because it looks almost exactly like the Unity shader. See, that one's gone all weird as well. It's like red. That is so strange. I wonder if that's because I've used the mobile. I've never used the mobile unlit light map
It's
one,
spooky
you
and
know.
all.
It is. It's weird, isn't it? How
Stick
bizarre.
some mobile diffuse and see what it does.
Yeah.
Spill wine on them.
Bumped diffuse, mobile diffuse. Yeah, but I want it to.
Yeah.
Will it
I was
still
just seeing
bake
if
a
it was-
light
if
map
it's
with that?
one way to find out.
Yeah.
Maybe you should use the standard and the lead.
I'm not going to use the Unity standard because Banter doesn't support it fully.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm trying out a mobile one rather than making my own. I mean, at the end of the day, an Amplify shader's no biggie.
No.
It's quick
The
and easy
mobile
to
ones
do.
can be an absolute pain at times.
Look at that.
Yeah.
No, it's still damn
It's
awful.
still
This
weird.
is why I don't use.
It's still
I
weird.
make games for Oculus Quest, but I don't use mobile and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not even for mobiles, I wasn't using.
Mm-hmm.
And make things darker.
How strange.
Yeah, it's just awful.
Bakery.
You haven't got reflections baked into the static, have you?
Reflections.
Oh, yeah,
Well, no, it shouldn't have
make a
any
difference.
glossy anyway. I mean,
No,
exactly. If I just turn that on.
Maybe you should
One sec.
uncheck receive shadows or something.
Well, it's got cast shadows on, receive shadows on.
Yeah.
On both of them.
I have no idea.
Could it be the reverse curtain on the other side?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, but it shouldn't because I use that all the time and I've never had an issue yet. But we want it to be included in the reflection, so that's right.
Yeah.
We want it to be included in the occlusion culling, so that's right. And we want batch and static
I have no
on.
idea. Yeah.
Right, we'll give it one more
Just try.
I mean, it could be.
Just don't use mobile. Is the answer.
Yeah.
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 The dark stuff is because of mobile.
Yeah.
Also on lead causes that a lot of times, so lead is the best option.
Yeah. That is just weird. Right, okay. I've probably got a shader suitable, you know, that I've already done. The colour. Right, this is the last try, and then I'm not going to waste any more of your time. We'll just move on. And we'll have it fixed for next time, and I'll tell you how I fixed it.
What is the purpose of having the lines go, the 10 lines go on the x-axis across?
Just to give it a little bit of bend, because it's a curtain's not always going to be perfectly straight. Even when you draw it back, there will be the odd bend vertically, especially if it's a particularly long curtain. It might be touching the floor. You might want a little bit of drag. So it needs to have that kind of bend rather than being like a row of pencils, shall we say, where it's totally rigid up and down. But you just need a few cuts you don't need a lot, just enough to give it a little bit of give and a little bit of sway. But yeah, if we hadn't put any of those cuts, I don't know if you remember when I was like resizing the railing and swinging the curtain backwards and forwards, it was actually properly swinging, and that was due to those horizontal cuts. So how we're doing? It's still broken, and that's using me own thing. So we're probably gonna just not even use this texture, to be honest. I don't know what on earth is going on and why it is picking up the red of the walls. But I'll figure it out. It'll be some weird setting I've got and didn't realise I had set.
Maybe the walls material is wrong.
Yeah.
It's bleeding into the curtains.
Yeah. I'll have a look at it. I'll have a look at it for next week. At least we've got a curtain made. I'm just going to replace this with the default material for now. And
also, if the curtains are moving, the material will stretch, I think. So it's better to use a plain material.
Yeah. The thing is, I've used fabric before. In here. I'm sure is this not a fabric? Or did I just use a plain colour? No, that's it.
No,
In
it's
fact, I think
fabric.
it's the same one that I've used on the blue curtains in here. So,
Nice.
yeah, I have no idea. Not to worry. Not to worry. We'll fix it. I'm just taking off the material.
You need in Blender to check the box to retain constraints, I think. It's something like that.
I'm not sure what you mean.
It's like in top right corner, I don't remember where now, but it's something like retain constraints, something, I don't remember how it's something like that. For the
Okay.
materials to, if you modify them, they will retain the initial textures, fabric, something like that. In Blender.
Oh, okay.
I don't really remember.
Yeah, I'm lost, I'm
right
afraid.
now.
I don't understand. But not to worry. Not to worry. This week, I don't know if you've noticed as well, I've changed the coffee table, so it's black now
That looks so real.
instead of wood. And I've changed the chair just changed anyway because it's got the same material as the coffee table. So yeah, that's that. Now let's just bring back all the stuff that I hid because I don't know where they are now. Did I hid the ceiling, didn't I? I hope I didn't delete it. I did just hide it. Please say I just hid it. Or is that the ceiling there? No, that's the sky because I can see the sun through it. Oh my lordy. I think probably what I've done, it's because it's hidden. That's what it was, so it didn't export last time. There we go. Got our ceiling back. Okay, so right now then, there's an add-on which I think comes free with Blender. I'm almost certain it does. If you go to Edit Preferences and do a search for Archy Mesh, I think it is there, just tick that because there's a rather handy thing built into here which will save you a load of time modelling stuff, or at least give you a basis for your own models. If you then go to Add Mesh and then Archy Mesh, you can add some stuff in here, which is quite cool, such as some shelves. Where did they go? There's my shelves. And the nice thing about these shelves is you can tell it how thick you want the sides to be, how thick you want the shelves to be,
Ooh.
the depth, the height. Very handy for like the bookcases that I've got. Top, bottom, number of units. So you could have them, you know, filling a wall up. Lots of things you can do with this, which is really, really cool. I'm not sure what all of these do actually, but you can tell it how many shelves you want. Let's have a look. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just do 4 with... That was me looking behind me at my bookcase. So we'll just give it 4 shelves. And yeah, you've got a nice little shelving unit, which you can then unpack and, you know, you can do some cool stuff with it. So we'll just... go into X-ray mode so I can see where I'm putting it. Over here and rotate it by 90. And then if I go back into solid view, I can then use face project and push it up against the wall. GX, and it's up against the wall. And just make sure that it's also on the floor. It should be. And we've got a bookcase, so that's quite handy. You can also, other things it does, you could build your kitchen by bringing in a cabinet, for instance. There's a bit of a kitchen cabinet. You could have a few of those going along. Yeah, lots of stuff you can do. So that's definitely worth knowing about because it's really, really quick. And these are almost exactly like the bookcases I've got. Mine are basically Billy bookcases from IKEA. So this will do the job quite nicely. And it also even has the same material as the coffee table. So I'm just going to go into UV editing and we'll quickly do a cubic unwrap. Use my favourite UV Packmaster to unpack it all. Give it its light map channel. And we'll fix it afterwards, I guess. Because I know that some of the faces are going to be facing the wrong way, but it doesn't matter for now. We'll just export the whole thing again. There's my bookcase. And I'll give it its material, which I can't remember where I put it now. I think it might have been in here. Is it wood? Possibly. No. That one there. Yeah, that one there. And I think what I'll do is also increase the size of the UV map. Maybe make it 3 times as big. And that just makes the green a bit smaller so it doesn't look quite as bad. And by the looks of things, apart from the sides, I need to rotate just about everything, don't I? So, Whoa. Try selecting just the bookcase, Lisa. So anything I think that's sideways, I think needs to go the other way. So I'm just going to select all of these ones because there's fewer of them. And invert the selection and rotate by 90. And I'm selecting just the texture one, not the light map one, so any overlap doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. And hopefully that's going to look a bit better and be going the right way. There we go. So there is my first bookcase. Now, because I got carried away with the curtains, I completely forgot about uploading to a world. So we'll get it uploaded after we're finished here, because technically we're finished a few minutes ago anyway. And I'll get it uploaded, and then I'll either pop the URL in Discord and you can, or the name, and you can go and have a look at it, or we can do it next week if you want to do it as a group, whichever you prefer. But yeah, that's me, got completely carried away and didn't realise what time it was. Because I love cloth physics that much, I get excited making curtains. I wish I got that excited making my own curtains in my own house. But I don't. So there you go, that's for this week. We're done for this week. Would you like me to upload it anyway? And then I'll just kind of put a little notification in Discord what I've called it, and people can go and try the doors out and tell me if they work or if I've completely broken them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can do, yeah.
Well, like I say, I mean, if you want to wait till next week, we can do it as a group like we did with the cave, if you'd like to do that. I'm easy.
We can do that as well.
Yeah, it's up to
whatever
you.
suits everybody.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okie dokie.
Alright.
Well, thank
Good
you
lesson, Lisa.
everybody for coming. Thank you, Bart.
Alfred Murph.
I will stop the recording now.